There's reasons for all you Cancers, Scorpios, and Pisces out there. So we're going to do a quick energy check-in to see how things are going, to see what you need to look at, what maybe you need to work on, and just see how things are all around right now, today. So again, this is for all the water signs out there, for the Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. All right. All right. So what is the overall theme right now for y'all? What is it? The High Priestess. It's like telling you that things just aren't really ready to be revealed. Things are kind of moving in the shadows. You got to tune into your psychic ability a little bit, your intuition, because you're not really ready to hear what you need to hear. That's the vibe I'm getting right now. Okay. And why? What's causing that? Because relationships, again, there's something you're trying to come together on with somebody else, like a might be a love spark, a relationship, something like that. Could be business, but it's definitely a relationship with another person, and it's something emotional, and you're just not really ready to accept it yet. There's something there that's just not out in the open. That's the overall feel. And how's that affecting you in your earthly realm? How's it affecting you? Well, you're ready to step through the threshold. You're ready to step onto the next plane in life with this person. You want to do it, but there's something hidden that you just aren't seeing. There's something you're just not sure about. And with the 21 there, that's a 3, means you want to grow, but you're not too sure how. So you're kind of stuck a little bit. You're stuck a little bit. And why? Because there's something you haven't let go of. It's like you're just not really ready to accept it, to embrace it, to go to the next level. You're not looking at the new that they can bring you. You're focusing on the old here. So while you can see your 3 cups, the one that's being handed to you saying, come on, let's move on. You're like, I don't want to. You're being stubborn. You're basically holding it back. So you're the one holding it back. And why? Is it maybe a little bit of fear? Maybe there's something inside you this isn't sitting right with them. You've been with them for a while, it seems like, because the world means you've gone through this whole thing. So financially, you've been together, you worked on things together, but you're being stubborn. You're being a little bit stubborn because you feel like you want more. You feel like you need a little more excitement. And so you want to turn things around a little bit. You want to move forward, but you don't know how to really set it off. You feel like you're stuck. And that's the Magician. So that's what's kind of going on. What's interesting too with the cards, if you look at the Magician's saying, look, I want to look into the future. I want to go into the future. But the 4 of Cups here is looking into the past. So you have to say, you know what? I'm going to take the new opportunity here, look into the future with this person and create new memories and create new things and create a new life with them from where you're at today. So rather than being stagnant, you're saying, you know what? I'm done with this. Now we're going to move forward. Okay. That's what we're getting in the earthly side of it. Now, as far as the mind is concerned, you have the Temperance. It's telling you that you also need to be a little more balanced with the person because maybe you're a little bit too erratic. And because of that, you're not able to let them tell you how they really feel. So it's kind of keeping them holding back on you. So even though the two of you do want to grow, but it's blocked because you're not being mindful enough. You need to be a little bit more clear. And the thing is too, the card's looking straight ahead. So it's saying like, this is in the now, right now. It's not tomorrow. It's not about the past. It's about, I need you to basically be more balanced right now. Get your act together. That's what's saying. And you look at the cards, a 14. That is a 10 and a 4, which is a 5. And if you don't, you have struggle. If you do, then that opens up and frees you a bit. Okay. Now, when we consider that the mind needs a little bit of work on, needs a little balance in the way you think, the way you communicate, and so forth. What about your passion towards one another? That fire energy is right here, judgment. It ties in with up here because you're not really ready to take it to the next level. It's like you can't hear, you're deaf. You refuse to listen. You aren't ready to grow because it's almost like you're chasing the past. You want things how they used to be, but they can't. It's time to move forward. And so even though the horn is blown, the trumpet is blown, you don't want to get out of the grave. So it's almost like the earth and the fire is both being constrained because you're just not ready to let go and move forward. That's what it says. And why? Because Well, that's funny because in the mind, you feel like they're not shooting straight with you. You feel like that you're trying to be on the level with them around your desires, the things you love to do. They're not being honest. They're holding back because they're probably afraid of a blow up. They're probably afraid of the fact that you can be a little bit sharp with it. And so that's why you have to balance yourself so they can say, you know what, I'm going to talk to you now because I can see a change. And because you're going to allow me to speak, I can trust you. And I don't have to keep looking at what's going to happen next if I say something. So again, it's you. You got to kind of tone it back a bit. And then emotionally, where are you all at? Queen of Cups. That's cool because what's funny is that this landed in the element of water, and so that tells me you're grounded. So as far as like your emotions are concerned, you are nurturing towards one another. So there's no doubt about that. So it really comes back down to communication. You got to learn to communicate a little bit better because if you don't, the thing's just going to fall apart and turn out not so great. Okay. And also, if you look at the cards that have been laid out, you have a lot of cup energy. So you have 1, 2, 3 cards. So it's very emotional. So you guys are very emotional together. 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, 5 cards. There are the major archetypes. So it's also very heavy on the soul. So it's like you're very deeply connected, but you got these things on the earthly realm just keep getting in the way. You got to get over the ego. That's what it's saying. You got to get over the ego and not be so emotional all the time, right? Because when you do that, things just kind of fall apart and go to the wayside. Now, we're going to pull a couple oracle cards to see what it has to say, what kind of message it can give us to help clear this up a little bit. Okay. Okay. What do we got? It says you need to do what with your partner? My faith has power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. You got to trust everything is going to be okay and it'll turn around. That's what's telling you. So that conflict, if you balance yourself, then you can finally grow. And all the things that kind of worry, like the 7 here and all these cards that kind of show the conflict and the fear of, trying to talk, it'll turn to love. Because once you open up and stop all being combative, then it turns out to be very beautiful, right? Let's go to the message here. Energy flows where my intention goes. So what's your intention? When you do things out of a heart of love, it's perfect. When you do things out of a heart of self, it turns to crap. So your energy flows where your intention goes. So be mindful of your intentions. Balance. Air, mind, right position. And one more card it says, I honor how I want to feel. Yeah, so talk it out. So you can honor it, right? So if you honor how I want to feel, how you want to feel, then talk to the person so they understand too and they can work with you on it, right? And that way everything works out just fine rather than always fighting and being contentious. And so with that being said, we're going to roll some dice here to see how the numerology ties in. That's how I always do things at the end. And we have a 3. Isn't that great? This is really cool because it's telling you that in order to find new opportunities with one another, you have to make decisions. You have to decide to work together so you can 3, grow. 3's around growth. So that's the reading. If you want a private reading for yourself, head over to wordsoftwist.com and book it. I'll be there waiting. And until next time, I want to see you in my next reading. All right. Bye, everybody.